A little while back, they decided to give us a free day off from school, but not that way that you would imagine it to be. Instead of them letting us stay at home, they decided that they're gonna give us an alternative program to do instead of going to school. We were gonna go into a local sports hall, basically like a huge sports area where you could do anything that you want. You could play like football over there, you could play basketball over there, you could play volleyball over there. There were just so many opportunities, and I saw this as a perfect opportunity for me to hone in my basketball skills. Now, I was never truly into basketball, but I really love the concept of it. Like throwing, the basketball into the basket. I always was fascinated with it, and I always just wanted to, you know, hit the most unique basketballs. Like, I would always level it up. I would increase the length from which I would be throwing. I would increase like the difference in angles, for example. Like I would start throwing the basket from behind in order to do the trick where it like falls into the basket from behind instead of from the front. Yeah, these kinds of things. And so, as per usual, 90% of my classmates that were there instantly just left. Like they decided to just completely ditch the area and just typically, as the 99% of people do, just stay on their mobile phones and to just chat all the way through. The 9% of people, yeah, sure, they did some sports. Like, for example, some guy with his girlfriend from my class who decided that he was gonna start throwing, basketball too. And then there was me, the 1%, who decided that he was gonna hone in his basketball skills to the fullest. So I grabbed my ball and I started failing over and over and over again. Because that's fine. I mean, I don't even play basketball in my free time, so I don't even blame myself. But then something very interesting came over to my mind, a metaphysical practice that I had the perfect opportunity to exercise right now. You see, in the universal laws, the highest one is the law of mentalism, meaning that whatever you feel to be the truth, and you can vividly imagine it in your mind to the point where it can deceive you as the reality, then it will become the reality. So, as I finally got hold of myself, and I finally decided to test it out, it fucking worked. Like, I remember that I was literally standing in front of the basket and I just like froze for like 5 seconds straight. I closed my eyes for like 3 seconds and I vividly imagined the scene of the ball already falling into the basket. And so, after like 3 seconds of waiting, I did it. And I failed. So I tried again. And then it worked. The thing that I'm trying to say with this is there's a very powerful saying in the Bible that goes, be absent from the body and present with the Lord. Now, what this metaphysically means, I'm not gonna break it down through a literal point of view because, yeah, that's not what we do on this channel and on the, reality control side of YouTube. No, we interpret things metaphysically so they can serve us and not be our bosses to us. We make reality our bitch instead of reality making us its bitch. Because spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. Just like many of my mentors have said in the past, if the religious script doesn't benefit you, it is only meant there for you to serve it. So that's what we're gonna do today. What that saying means metaphysically is to be absent from whatever your physical senses tell you that it is real and completely be immersed in your imagination, in that reality that you wish to call upon on the physical plane, and be so good in that visualization or whatever technique you choose to practice, so that you don't even need, so that you completely even forget about yourself in general and about the physical plane, because you exist in three planes, not just one. You exist in the physical plane, in the mental plane, and in the spiritual plane. So you need to immerse yourself in the spiritual and the mental plane so much, which are the realms of cause, by the way, which then will have an effect, which is the physical plane. Even though the effect on the physical plane may not be instant, you can rest in the fact that it will always work. Because there are seven hermetic laws of the universe, and these have been known for thousands of years. This isn't something new age bullshit. No, no, no. Ancient alchemists knew these laws before the Bible was even written in the first place, like the Old Testament. So you should really be paying attention. And law, the highest law that then determines all the rest that follow afterwards is the law of mentalism, just like I said. Before anything can exist physically, it must first exist mentally or vibrationally or through a frequency, whatever way you choose to conceptualize it as. Basically, meaning that whatever you can feel and put all of your attention and all of your emotional conviction into will always come into physical reality. But you need to feel it and you need to know it as if it was here right now. And what other best way to do it than through your imagination? Your imagination defies logic. Because if you do these practices, that enhance your imagination and that make you feel from the point of view of having your desired reality, so many opportunities will unlock for you. You will quite literally defy logic, and the outcomes that will then come onto the physical plane, they will quite literally defy logic itself, and you will be stunned. Like, just like I was. Like, I failed to throw the basket in. Sorry, I failed to throw that ball into the basket like 20 times. But then once I visualized it and I immersed myself in it, so I started putting all of my focus that I would put on my real physical senses into that reality with, you know, all the five physical senses in there. I heard, the basket starting to wriggle, the chains starting to, make noise and stuff like that. And I heard the basket, colliding with, and I heard the ball colliding with the basket. And I literally saw it, the ball slowly falling into the basket and on the ground. And I also, felt it. I felt, touching the basketball afterwards. I imagined it to such an extreme amounts of detail that I put all of my focus away from the physical reality and onto the mental reality. Because guess what? The unseen is more real than the seen. This also reminds me, and this is a side tangent by the way. There's another quote in the Bible that says something about blood and two birds. If I'm not mistaken, you can Google this on your own. I only heard this like yesterday, but basically every day you have two options. Either you can feed one you can either feed either of these birds. One of these birds represents the physical reality, and the other one represents the mental reality. And when you choose either of these, it's like your focus is like blood, right? You put it in one of these two birds, and that blood literally makes it alive, right? Because blood carries all the nutrients, like oxygen and stuff like that, so that the cells can function. And yeah, this is also a great analogy. So you need to be absent from the body. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't put like all of your focus on the mental plane, of course, because yeah, of course, if you choose to ignore reality, then yeah, too much of everything is bad. So reality will still recognize you as its bitch when you start to completely ignore it. So of course, you should be present like 20% of the time on the physical plane, but 80% of the time you should immerse yourself with the Lord. And by the way, God isn't some kind of a persona sitting somewhere in the sky, judging people. No, no, no. God is an impersonal energy. Or we can also conceptualize him as as the universal law of mentalism. Because think about it. When you take the word Lord and you replace it with law and you read the Bible afterwards, it all makes much more sense, right? I am God, your law. I have created evil and good. I am like, there's also another quote. God, law, is no respecter of persons, right? Electricity is no respecter of persons, also. Gravity is no respecter of persons, also. They are just laws that just naturally exist. You can either use them to your advantage, or to your disadvantage. And when you entertain the thoughts in your head, subconsciously or consciously, that don't serve you, then God will use it to electrocute you, and you won't like that, right? So that's how it works. God is an impersonal energy. It is basically the law of mentalism itself. It is our inner state of consciousness that has no shape. It is the I am, if you wish. The neutral I am that if you put anything after it, it will manifest it into reality, into the physical reality. So if you just visualize, or if you affirm yourself, or if you use any kind of technique, I genuinely don't care what it is, to emulate the feeling of already being in your desired reality, then that emotion will be sent through your subconscious mind to God Himself, and He will then give you the inner intuition that will guide you to that desired reality. So that's what I mean by being absent from the body and present with the law. Now, I know that for the first couple of tries, this will be very hard to do, and your old frequency, your old state of mind, your old emotions that you've been outputting into your subconscious mind, and thus giving it to God. I know the physical plane will take some time to adjust, but sorry, but you need to remain strong, and you need to remember that you're now a timeless reader on self mastery. You're not like that depressed 14-year-old kid that you were. No, no, no. You're far beyond that right now, and you're evolving into something much, much greater. So, will you be able to stick through for these next 2 weeks or however long it takes? You make the laws of your reality. So it can take you a day, it can take you an hour, it can take you a week, it can take you a month, whatever. If you can think from the end and be present with the law, then not even these tests will hurt you in the slightest. They won't. All you need to do is just immerse yourself in that reality, in that mental reality, 80% of the time with all five of your physical senses. Now, of course, still be present in the physical reality, since you will benefit from it in the future once your desires manifest, like making 10K per month, having the woman, the friends, the health, after that, you, you can take like half of your attention away from your mental reality, so you can be like 60% present in the physical plane and like 40% present in the mental plane. But of course we should not neglect the mental plane also, because when you don't have control over it, and when you let the universe kind of like push you around, then that is not good also. So yeah, too much of everything is bad. Don't get don't get caught up in the illusions of the third dimension, which are time, space, the universal laws, and all of these things. Just remember, the moment that you feel it, you're already in it. You're already materializing that state of mind, and the universe has no option but to move already, so it feels threatened. So that's why it is throwing all of these life tests at you the moment that you shift. And so yeah, keep it to yourself and be absent from the body and present with the law. That's it. This is the game. This is what you need to earn serene confidence, because you already know what's gonna happen in the future. So you can just rest easy in the fact that it is getting handled by a force that it is not confined by time and space constraints. The force that has created you in the first place. So he knows you better than you know yourself. And yeah, that's it. By the way, if you want to supercharge this process of manifestation, of self improvement, of whatever you wish to be, to further enhance yourself in your authentic growth as a soul on this physical plane, then you can check out Timeless Reader's Mindsets in the description. It is truly something life changing, and you would be a fool to miss out, especially with the discount that is happening over there right now. Look at these people. They have benefited so much from me, and guess what? They haven't even seen a single life lesson from that course. So I suggest that you go grab it right now before the price skyrockets, because I could be charging thousands for this, and like $49, that's nothing, bro. I've seen courses selling this information for thousands of dollars. I'm not joking. So you better grab it right now before the price skyrockets. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, No one is better at being you